So this is Overlord DVD, also known as Doomcock, talking about a supposed Universal Studios leaked memo, Universal going woke. Remember, this same guy, Overlord DVD, is known for taking rumors, I shouldn't even call them rumors, taking posts from 4chan and claiming them as absolutely true news. He also claims to have sources inside companies, he doesn't, that, like, confirm certain rumors, and we know those sources are BS, specifically because
you want to overrun us and poison us and take our families and kill us?
We know his sources are bogus because there's a YouTuber who specifically, and I'm forgetting the name of the YouTuber at the moment, sorry about that, but there's a YouTuber who went and planted fake, we know they're fake because he made them up, rumors on 4chan just to bait Overlord DVD to see if he would cover them and claim that they were true. And yep, he said, these rumors, I'm being told by my sources, are true. The rumors that were completely fabricated by this YouTuber in order to catch him out in his lies. He had whole videos on it. I'm subscribed to that individual, and I'm sorry I can't remember them. But in my previous coverage of him, I talked about him. MMO addicted with 10 bits. I have a source in CG Project Red, but they told the old man no talking about this at your wine tasting parties and stopped letting him copy stuff to his phone. Oh, Ketwalski. Yes, Ketwalski on YouTube is who has caught him out lying before. Multiple times. Did I watch this yesterday? Ended up falling asleep and I didn't see it in the stream.
On
Yes, we watched part of it, but I couldn't get through much of it because it was A, aggravating, and B, it's a conversation amongst African American individuals, and I'm certainly not going to sit here as a white person and be like, now let me give my opinion. Like, no, bad look, folks. Not going to do it.
Hail, my friends. Please check to make sure that you are still subscribed to this channel. People do get unsubscribed every day. And consider, please, joining my channel membership. You get exclusive videos, exclusive members-only live streams, emojis, and more. Join the Doomcock Army. We need you, my friends. Thank you, and enjoy this video. Hollywood has gone mad.
And lid with 3 bits. Nice shirt, Hannah. I'm looking forward to Minnesota playing Michigan on Big Ten's opening weekend. Let me be clear. I have this shirt because it was given to me. I've never sat through an entire football game in my life. I don't like sports. I don't watch sports. Don't know anything about them. I know in football you have downs and you got to move the ball so many yards per down, and then you want to get a touchdown, and then there's field goals for extra points. And that's all I know. I don't watch sports. Don't try and engage with me on any level about sports. It's going right over my head. If you like sports, that's great. I'm happy they exist, but not my thing.
That's the only way I can describe the current state of affairs there. A madness springing from the contradiction between Hollywood's desire to brainwash America with social engineering propaganda.
Having women be main characters and having gay characters at all is propaganda. Good to know.
And its desire to save itself from the harsh new economic realities of a post-contagion world. Disney, on the one hand, hit particularly hard in its theme parks and resort enterprises, has reportedly decided it will be a strictly for-profit business moving forward.
We covered this. We covered the video where he talks about this. He did a whole video where he's like, my sources inside Disney tell me that they're done with being SJWs and they are now going to be a strictly for-profit company. No! Disney has never been anything but a for-profit company. What do you not understand about this? The reason that they do stuff like Black Panther or Captain Marvel, like including women and minorities and other people in their movies, isn't to push some like social, like, they're not trying to be like, ooh, I'm an ideologue that's gonna push these things. They do it because that's what audiences like. General audiences are mostly progressive because a majority of the people in the country are progressive. The only reason that progressivism isn't like the priority or isn't a huge part of American politics is due to gerrymandering and the Electoral College and the Senate. The majority of consumers, however, have nothing to do with, like, being gerrymandered. You just need to pander to the people who have the biggest opinion, who have the most people who share an opinion. And most people, as it turns out, like progressive politics. So that's why Disney, which has always operated as a for-profit company that puts profits first, has decided, oh, we should have like a Captain Marvel movie where it's like, you know, it's a woman, and we should have a Black Panther movie that's like a mostly black cast. Like, that's why. Surprise! It never had anything to do with caring about individuals or groups of people. It's capitalism.
According to the recent rumors. On the other hand, the Oscars have gone full-blown, over-the-top, insanely woke by inserting quotas into their award criteria, stating that moving forward, any film that does not conform to strict diversity guidelines in its production will not be eligible for Oscars, thus removing the whole art thing from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science.
It's not art if you put gay people or non-white people in it. What? Also, no one takes the Oscars seriously, bro. Calm down.
Which is now dedicated exclusively.
Dudes spanking dudes. There's two genders, male and political. Also, I can't take Doomcock seriously. Yeah, no one does.
To math and social studies. I wonder if the statues themselves will come in different colors now, or is it only society that has to conform to diversity guidelines?
Dude, the statues are gold. They're gold. They're not a specific race. No one is gold.
After all, we wouldn't want the Oscars to have to break with their traditions, right? But I digress. Even as Disney is starting to recognize the importance of, at the very least...
But they are breaking with their traditions with the new guidelines. What are you talking about? Like, what? It's their traditions that they're changing by changing the criteria for being, like, Best Picture or whatever. Right? You get that, right? No? Okay. Let's move on. That's not even what this video is about.
No longer antagonizing and alienating their audience, it appears that another studio that has recently been doing much better than Disney is now tired of succeeding and is planning to set its own ass on fire in an orgy of self-immolation, as sadly, being covered in ashes is very fashionable in California this time of year.
Oh, great. Making fun of wildfires that have destroyed tons of people's homes. That's great. Good job.
A recent article on the Daily Wire has exposed a leaked internal memo from Universal Filmed Entertainment Group stating that a social justice agenda will now be driving not only hiring, but content from Universal Studios, DreamWorks, and NBC Universal.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
NLID with 25 bits. It's really not that strict. The guidelines require more diversity in the entire film production, which can include a huge cast and crew. Studios really don't have to work hard to get around these new rules to earn Best Picture noms. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
You know,
there are two genders, Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kid. Oh, Shark Boy and Lava Girl is one gender, and then Spy Kid is the other gender. Okay, yeah.
Words. Universal is now going woke. There's nothing wrong with having diversity in films.
Really? Because you sure seem to hate every time there is. And also, this is the same guy that I did the whole investigation on, where it looks like he has a BitChute channel where he's literally a Nazi. And I don't mean Nazi in like a, oh ho ho, he's right-wing. I mean he literally has like a black star symbol behind him and is wearing a SS uniform. That kind of Nazi. Cascadia says, I identify as Spy Kids 3D. Me too.
In general, it's a perfectly fine thing to do.
Tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume, wink wink, nudge nudge, I don't hate minorities, hide swastika. Again, yeah, this guy I'm pretty sure has a... I did this, but if you didn't see it, there's another channel on BitChute, which is like crazy conspiracy way right-wing YouTube. And there, it's like Comrade something, and he's literally in a Nazi uniform, and wears a mask just like him, and changes his voice slightly differently, but if you listen to the voices, I think they sound exactly the same. And he does the same exact, like, gesticulations.
There's nothing funny about
we
the
looked at
tools
him
of
side by
capitalism.
side, and it seems like it's the same guy. And he literally talks about, like, protecting Aryans and all sorts of stuff. He's a literal Nazi. And I'm pretty sure it's this guy, so... Isn't it Mr. Metacore on BitChute? No, it's like Comrade something. Oh, isn't Mr. Medic... I don't even know who Mr. Metacore is. Ask Compu with a bit. I bet he uses the same set and just covers up the Nazi with a Nazi BG with a green screen for these videos. Wait for the moment the fabric slips down a bit too much and he doesn't notice. Oh, Commandant. That's what it was. It was Commandant something. Do I... Oh, shoot. I don't have it, BitChute. I don't think I have it saved. It's Commandant something. Commandant. Their search function isn't very good on BitChute, so, like, it's hard to find. BitChute. Hans Wormhat. Blah, blah, blah. This one. There we go. Yeah, it's this guy. Commandant Base 211. And we covered, like, this guy before.
Aryans and honorary Aryans. Tonight's transmission is a twofold story that we have been waiting to tell for some time now.
Pretty sure it's the same guy.
Because a lot of times the race or sex of a character is irrelevant, and the best actor or actress should be hired for the job. I think that's just common sense. But once you mandate diversity quotas determined according to formulas designed to prioritize diversity over narrative coherence or common sense, you start getting diverse Viking...
About the tools of capitalism.
Cascadia 93, Aryans unironically. Oh no. Oh yeah, I said he was a Nazi. He's like a literal Nazi. I didn't mean like, oh, he's a Nazi. I mean, he's a Nazi. I mean, he's literally like a white supremacist who believes in the JQ. Anyway. The problem with people on the right and chuds like this when we're talking about, like, quote, diversity quotas, is that they always seem to think it's a case where, like, there's an applicant that's more qualified and there's an applicant that's less qualified, but they're a minority and they'll automatically get it. No. The entire point is that if you have two candidates who are equally qualified, then in certain cases, not in all cases, but in certain cases, then you hire the minority to make sure you don't have an entirely homogenous employee group. So you have diverse opinions and diverse staff. That's the entire point, which is especially important in creative positions in Hollywood because guess what? The demographics of the country aren't what they were 20 years ago, and continually it's been shown that people are starving for content that represents them on the screen, whether we're talking about stuff like Black Panther, which is like the first big, like, tentpole superhero movie to star a person of color. And yes, I know Blade exists, but Blade's not the same thing as Black Panther. Black Panther's like $1 billion juggernaut, like, huge movie. You know what I'm saying? So having, like, diversity in your staff, especially when we're talking about, like, Hollywood, an area where you need a bunch of different creative individuals coming to work together to produce products that apply, or that what's the word I'm thinking of? That appeals. Couldn't think of the word appeals. that appeals to various people in society from all sorts of different backgrounds, that's a good thing. It's not only good, but it's necessary. The implication that these guys always have is that less qualified people are getting into the positions, as if there are no qualified people of color or gay people or trans people. It's always the inherent meaning behind what they're saying.
Epics, and stories where Robin Hood is a proud black woman, which was frequently the case in England of the period.
Let me use a ridiculous example.
Not. But here
That's not even a thing. What are you talking about?
is the leaked internal memo outlining what Universal's priorities are moving forward, and spoiler, making great movies isn't one of them. Dear colleagues,
dailywire.com/news/internal Universal Films memo reveals social justice agenda that will drive content. Daily Wire. Why does that sound familiar? Daily Wire. Let me see if there's a Wikipedia page. Oh, God! It's Ben Shapiro's site! Of course! Hey, bud, maybe don't cite Ben Shapiro's website as a valid source. That'd be great.
last month, Donna announced the formation of an inclusion committee that will take an active role in enhancing and implementing strategies to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in both the studio's creative endeavors and within our workforce culture, in collaboration and partnership with all UFEG employees.
So first of all, I don't know if this memo is real at all. This is from Ben Shapiro's website, and I don't trust Ben Shapiro whatsoever, so it could just be made up. But let's say this is real. It's fine. It's fine. Tons of companies do this stuff. Having a homogenous employee group is a good way to have a stagnating company, again, especially in a creative field like creating movies. It's fine.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MMO Addicted. Is this the website of that guy whose wife is a doctor? Yes. Has he mentioned his wife is a doctor? I think no one knows about it.
The guiding principle of the committee is to empower voices to tell stories that reflect our global marketplace and the diverse audiences we serve, as well as proactively develop a just and inclusive workforce culture where individuals of all backgrounds can thrive.
Like, what about any of what you just read is bad? They're literally saying, we want a workforce that reflects the audiences that we're serving, and we want to create an environment that's conducive for all employees of tons of different backgrounds. Neither of those things is bad. Imagine reading this and going, those SJWs catering to the audience that exists for their product and making a work environment in which everyone can thrive. What? Why is this bad? Dude spanking dudes at 2 bits. True equality to me would be if you have 2 qualified people just flip a coin. I mean, the problem is that there's always inherent discrimination that takes place. All things being equal, people will usually choose like a white person because everyone has inherent bias, even if they don't think they do, which is why you have certain things that say, hey, we should have an amount of employees that are minorities that are in line with the amount of minorities that are in the general population. Typically, if we're talking about percentages or whatever. Does the website have, hypothetically, let's say a website for a good boiled chicken? The one I have is way too spicy and needs more mayo.
The committee will focus on 5 key...
Enlid with 15 bits. These actions can also help studios find new artists, too. Be able to take another look at a great script with these new efforts or cast a wider net to find good up-and-coming cinematographers and such who may have gone overlooked. Yeah.
Pillars.
74 Quinn 74. Hey, I finally made it. What's going on? Not much. Looking at Overlord DVD, talking about some internal memo that's supposedly from Universal.
Workforce strategies and practices. Hiring, recruitment, retention, and development efforts, feeding the talent pipeline. Culture and belonging. Develop strategies to embed diversity, equity, and inclusion values, practices, and goals into our core business in conjunction with senior management accountability. Create
Good. There's nothing, you've not read anything that's bad yet.
partners and storytelling. Develop strategies to increase inclusion and representation in storytelling, filmmakers, and talent behind and on camera.
Again, good. That sounds great.
Business partners and practices. Create strategies and leverage existing NBCU resources to ensure diversity, equity, and inclusion are implemented in how core business is conducted, including vendors, consultants, and business partners. Social transformation. With a community focus on social equity and justice, engage UFEG employees in internal and external outreach efforts, participation with existing company-wide resources including Employees Resource Groups, ERGs, and Comcast NBC Unite's sponsorship commitments.
Cascadia 93. Oh no, not more people. That's what I don't get. This memo, like, it's not even like it's like... For one thing, if it were written in this way, it wouldn't be true. But let's say it said something along the lines of, guess what, guys? It's time to force SJW stuff down people's throat. That's one thing. First of all, it wouldn't come down like that because the world doesn't operate like these weird anti-SJW chuds think it does in their head. But, like, this all just sounds like good company policy where they're trying to expand their employee base and expand the pool of talent that they're drawing from. These all sound like smart business decisions. Like, what do you think the company's gonna do? Just be like, we need to have a good director. We need good, like, DPs or script supervisors, but we only want white ones. Like, is that what you would rather them say? I don't understand why this is supposed to be bad. What's bad about what's being said here? Tucker White 94 says, I only got here a few minutes ago, and I'm pretty sure this is Chud's entire Chud. I'm pretty sure this Chud's entire argument boils down to diversity. Yeah, basically.
We are very excited to announce the committee members who represent various areas.
And again, all of this makes much more sense when you realize this guy has a Nazi alt on BitChute. All makes a lot of sense. This only makes sense in the context if you think that, like, diversity is bad, which it isn't.
Across UFEG, and will serve as thought leaders to bring about sustainable change for their respective pillar. These members are in addition to the hundreds of employees who have signed up to be a part of the Universal Voices community, as well as numerous subcommittees that will be established to help support our priorities and our business-led initiatives sponsored by our various senior leaders. Everyone has the opportunity to be a part of this journey, regardless of where you sit within the organization. And together we will work to amplify and support our work in embracing diversity across the business and support racial equity. We look
Welcome back, Sube.
forward to frequently sharing updates with you on our progress. So there you have it. Universal is going full woke now.
Universal. Hey, we want to have a diverse talent pool to draw from, so we're going to make sure that we hire people from all sorts of different backgrounds, and make sure that employees are happy. Chuds. They're going full woke! What? They're literally just saying, like, hey, we're gonna try and have a less homogenous employee base, right? That's good. That's not a bad thing. Unless, again, like this guy, you have an alt on BitChute where you dress up as an SS officer and scream about preserving the Aryan race.
They have drunk the Kool-Aid, and they have decided they're going into the social engineering business, and their motion picture division is henceforth going to be dedicated to advancing the cause
They literally said, we're trying to create products for people who want to be represented. Again, I'll go to Black Panther as the go-to example of this, or Captain Marvel, which also chuds don't like. Like, yeah, as it turns out, tons of people like superhero movies. It's not just middle-aged white dudes. So why don't we make products, and this can apply to anything, not just superhero movies, but since those are like the biggest genre films on the planet at the moment, although maybe that's on the way out, I don't know. We'll see what happens when theaters reopen and COVID isn't an issue some far distant way in the future. But, like, why is that bad? Like, they're just making products for people who want to see themselves represented on the screen. Is this something that they just have a problem understanding because the history of film is full of, like, white dude protagonists and they just don't understand what it's like to not be represented? Like, they just can't put themselves in someone else's shoes and understand what that's like, and they're just like, well, why can't you just watch one of the million movies with white people? Like, I mean, they can, and they have, but it's, like, nice to see you and people of your background represented on the screen. It's just very strange.
Social justice around the world. This is their priority now. But as customers, as film fans, which I assume a lot of you are, do any of you think this means they're moving?
I don't think a lot of people who watch Overlord DVD are film fans. I think they're nerds who like, and I shouldn't even say that because nerd isn't derogatory, but like, I think the people who watch Overlord DVD watch Star Wars movies and Star Trek movies, at least the first 6. And that's all they watch. I don't think they want, like, I think if you tried to have a discussion to them about, like, I don't know, have you guys seen The Florida Project? Have you seen Room? Have you seen Moonlight? Have you seen, you know, if you had tried to have a discussion with them about anything, like, hey, have you seen the latest Charlie Kaufman movie? I think their face would go blank, and they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is the Star Wars.
Movies will be better or worse. Making movies under the best of circumstances is a difficult proposition, and making great movies is nigh unto impossible. Happens once in a blue moon, when all the stars align and the right people come together. It is a freak accident. And when making a great movie isn't even a priority anymore?
Why do you think that making great movies isn't a priority? Why do you think it's an either or? Why do you think it's, we can either have a diverse cast and crew, or we can have good movies? Like, literally the only reason you would think this is if you think the only good movies are movies that star and are made by, like, only white dudes. It makes no sense to think this way. You can do both. You can say, hey, we want to promote, like, making sure that we have a diverse crew and cast and the stories we're telling aren't just the same old stories representing the same people who've been represented time and time again. Like, did you not like Black Panther again? Black Panther was pretty good. Captain Marvel I liked too. But like even beyond that, there are like movies about people who aren't white that are really good. Have you seen Crazy Rich Asians? That's quite good. Like there are movies that are really, really good that aren't about straight white dudes. What is this belief that... Whatever.
Those blue moons are going to have to stack up a long time before you get another Back to the Future level movie, folks.
The last Universal movie that he can think of that was good is Back to the Future, which came out 35 years ago. I love Back to the Future, but like, if that's your frame of reference for a good movie, and Back to the Future is a really, really good movie. The screenplay's
There's nothing
tight.
funny about the tools
It is
of
like
capitalism.
it is like a really good example of like a really tight screenplay, and it's well directed, and Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd are fun. But like, that's your bar? It's a really fun comedy time travel movie, but like, let's look at Universal movies. Universal movies last 20 years. This isn't even the entire time frame since Back to the Future. List of Universal Pictures films. Let's go from 90... Let's just look at these lists, okay? And find good movies. Because I'm not sure exactly all the stuff Universal's done either, but... How old is this douchebag? He hasn't revealed that. I have no idea. The peak of cinema to him is Back to the Future. Yeah. Very strange. Let's see. Tremors came out. Tremors is pretty good. Back to the Future Part 2. Frankly, that's Part 3. If you don't like Back to the Future Part 2, though, do you even like Back to the Future? Ghost Dad! That's not a good movie, but funny. The Child's Play movies. Kindergarten Cop. Let's see. Ooh, Cool as Ice. I'm just picking out the funny ones now. Tremors 2 is the best. I don't know if I've seen Tremors 2. Cape Fear. That's a good movie. Jurassic Park. That's an even more recent one. Yeah, Universal did make Jurassic Park. If we're even talking like genre blockbuster movies, Jurassic Park is probably the better film than Back to the Future. I personally like Back to the Future more, but Jurassic Park is technically the better movie, I think. Daddy Sume with a link. Hold on.
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
Funny. Let's see. Oh, Schindler's List. You can't even go for Schindler's List in terms of, like, good movies? Oh, The Flintstones. The Flintstones isn't a good movie, but I like it. The Little Rascals. Time Cop Jr. Billy Madison. That seems like the kind of movie Doomcock would like. Apollo 13. It's kind of a bland movie, but it's a relatively good movie.
There's nothing funny
Oh,
about
Tu
the
Wong
tools of
Fu, Thanks for
capitalism.
Everything. That's also a good movie. Of course not. Of course not Schindler's List. He's a Nazi. Oh, duh. I guess I didn't think of that. Mallrats. Mallrats is a good movie. Oh, Casino. Casino's a good movie. 12 Monkeys is a good movie. Happy Gilmore. I'm not an Adam Sandler fan, but a lot of people like him. Let's not forget the best film of the last 5 years, The Dark Universe is The Mummy. The Nutty Professor, which is a funny movie. Liar, Liar. Let's look at the more recent ones, though, because clearly that's what he's talking about. It's just that the last movie he can think of is Back to the Future for some reason. Let's start with 2010, I guess. They made Kick-Ass, which was a good movie. I didn't see the sequel, though. They made Despicable Me, which is a pretty good movie. They made the Nanny McPhee movies, which I think are good kids' movies.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Kick-Assia. And Lid. There are tons of great movies released recently, and plenty of them have been diverse. Roma, If Beale Street Could Talk, Dolomite Is My Name, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. If this guy was a film fan, he'd know there's a wide range of strong films. Yeah, I'm specifically looking at Universal movies because I think that's what he's referencing. I thought the first Ted was kind of funny. I don't know. Oh god, not Les Mis, though. That was bad. Universal Pictures Oscar movies. Is that not gonna load? Great. Thanks, Internet. You're doing a great job today. I just want to search by...
There's nothing funny about
like
the tools of
Oscar
capitalism.
winners, because I don't really, I know, Hannah, Les Mis is bad, be fighting words. Have you seen the movie adaptation of Les Mis? It's real bad. Anyway. You get the point. Universal's made plenty of good movies between Back to the Future and now. Very strange benchmark to set.
All the
Like, the Les Mis movie is terrible, guys. Come on. Prisoner 24601, your time is up and your parole's begun. Like, I'm 90% sure I did a better job than Russell Crowe, and I was doing a Russell Crowe
There's
impersonation.
nothing funny about the tools
It's so
of
bad.
capitalism.
cinematic out
It's got problems, major problems, but it still comes out good? No. I disagree entirely. The Les Mis movie is miserable to sit through, and I hate it. The play's good, the movie is bad?
There's
Yeah.
nothing funny about
That's
the
pretty
tools
much
of
where I'm at.
capitalism.
output from Universal Studios, DreamWorks, and NBC Universal moving forward are going to be double filtered before it even reaches your eyes. The first filter will of course be Universal's own internal policies where everything is being metered and weighed and wokeified.
Nothing in their memo said anything about being woke. They literally just said, we want diversity because the world is diverse and so is their customer base. That's a good thing. Universal and every other major studio have scaled back somewhat on production and go more for distribution anyways. That's why these days it's more often for studios like A24 to win Oscars, or larger studios will use their smaller options like 20th Century Fox with Fox Searchlight. Yeah, true. I think Universal distributed Parasite in the States, if
There's
I'm
nothing funny
remembering
about the
correctly.
tools of capitalism.
This is really neat. Check it out. Someone click on that. Is that a Rickroll?
And then it's going to be filtered again through the Oscars, because every movie is going to want to have the potential to win an Oscar. So,
There's nothing funny
Not
about the
every
tools of
movie.
capitalism.
There are tons of movies that come out every year that don't try and... There you go, Daddy Sume. It took me 50 times, but I'm getting it. Rickroll, but
There's
interesting.
nothing funny about the tools
Would you
of
say Les Mis
capitalism.
is less miserable than watching Doomcock? Yes, it is.
they're going to make damn
Tons of movies come out every year that don't intend to win an Oscar. Like, I don't know, list of movies 2019. Movies from 2019. Before movies weren't a thing you could go and see anymore. Gemini Man. I don't think Gemini Man was trying to win any Oscars outside of maybe some technical awards for the de-aging stuff. Well, the popular movies are coming up are going to be Oscar movies, some of them. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I don't think was trying to win an Oscar. El Camino wasn't trying to win an Oscar. Six Underground, I don't think was trying to win an Oscar. Togo, I don't think was trying to win an Oscar. I really don't think Midsommar was trying to win an Oscar.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Dr. Sleep, I doubt was trying to win an Oscar. Ma definitely wasn't trying to win an Oscar. These are just the ones that come up under popular movies. Like, tons of movies come out every year, and most of them are not Oscar bait. Andrew Dickerson, Hannah, let's watch the first Russell Crowe song from Les Mis. I literally cannot without getting DMCA'd, so no, I cannot do that. I would like to, but I cannot. Sorry.
sure that they conform not only to Universal's internal metrics for wokeness, but also the Oscars' diversity formulas because they don't want to be excluded. So where in all of this
Nothing funny about
does a great script fall? Where
What happened to my car? The alternator is shot, so they have to replace the alternator, and that's why I'm doing the car repair fund. Which, by the way, if you want to donate to, here's a link in the chat.
Capitalism.
does a compelling performance fall? Personally, I think it falls through the cracks.
I need an alternate alternator. Funny.
I think when you have art that does not prioritize art, you no longer have art, you have propaganda.
Dude, at no point did they say they're prioritizing these things over making good movies. It's in your own head that you think you can't make good movies with a diverse cast and crew. And that's the problem. Like, why do you think a movie needs to be homogenous and just full of white folks in order to be a good movie? I don't understand where this is coming from.
As a film fan, a lifelong film fan,
Which is why he only ever talks about Star Wars and Star Trek. Because those are the two movies that come out. Star Wars movies and Star Trek movies.
I find this heartbreaking.
A lifelong movie fan. And my last frame of reference for a good Universal movie is Back to the Future, a 35-year-old film. Oh, God. Yeah, he probably does think that, Sume. I'm not going to read that out loud, though, because I'm not going to get clipped on that one. Does he not realize that there's an actual definition of propaganda? No, probably not. Or he does, but he doesn't care.
I just want some good movies. I don't mind at all diversity. I think it's a good idea, as I said before. But
You can't say that while in the same breath implying that you can't have diversity and good movies. Like, what? The entire thing is literally just like, hey guys, we should have more diversity in our staff. And you going, what? But I want to see good movies, not movies with black people in them. How about an alternative? Hold on, let me click. Does not this guy not think great films don't fall through the cracks without Oscar recognition now? Look at how animation gets shafted year after year. Yeah. I don't think this guy's seen any Oscar nominees for the past, 20 years. Oh, God! We gotta save this for a cringe stream. This is the Nostalgia Critic's musical review of Les Mis.
Room 24601, your punishment has officially begun. You know what that means, probably something good.
Cut!
We'll save that for a Captain Cringe episode.
when it becomes the overriding policy, when it becomes the
Oh yeah, Universal did release Get Out. That's a really good movie.
primary concern,
Personally, I liked Us as well if they also did that one, but a lot of people didn't like Us.
you're not going to get great movies. You're not going to get great anything.
I would have liked this movie, but it's full of non-white people, so I guess it's not good anymore. What?
So it's looking like a win for those who want to see society re-engineered, etc., and so on. And it's looking like a loss for those of us who just want some good movies.
Dude, movies, why? I'm a broken record on this, and I'm a broken record on so many things because it just needs to be reiterated. Why do you think you cannot have good movies made by crews that are staffed by non-white people? What is the center of this belief, and where is it coming from? Do you think that script supervisors have to be white? Otherwise, they just can't track continuity? Do you think that, an Asian cinematographer can't figure out how to make shots look nice? Why do you think this has any bearing negatively on the quality of the films?
Free of all the math, the social studies, and the propaganda. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
This guy is so consistently ridiculous. Anyway, what's next?